Tim Saunders along with Chris Terrian. We're at MTS Center in Winnipeg, snowy and cold Winnipeg. And the Flyers take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Our game day preview is brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Well, it's the fourth and final meeting between these two teams, and Winnipeg Bundy can sweep the series. Philadelphia has not had a lot of success against this team after years back when they were in Atlanta, had nothing but success.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, really, when you think about the transition between how the Flyers used to play against this team and what's happened of late against the Atlanta/Winnipeg franchise. This is an important game because it is a possibility. It could be a matchup in the playoffs in the first round if Winnipeg's able to get the hold of that 3 seed and the Flyers somehow, and it's possible anyway. So to get one over on a team, I think is as important right now as the Flyers' attitude when you play the New York Rangers. That being said, Philadelphia clearly needs to take care of their own end of the ice and their own business tonight against Winnipeg. They have a talented team. They have a goal-scoring team and a couple of new defensemen. So I think Philadelphia right now is in a situation where they need to find points because if you notice the standings over the weekend, one team leaped over Philadelphia already in the form of the New Jersey Devils. Ottawa right on their heels.
Right. Flyers with 2 wins now in the last 8 games, so maybe a good time to get back out onto the road. This starts a 4-game road trip. This will be the longest road trip left the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, and it is, and I think that's probably time. You get to a point where you're at home so much, maybe one road trip scattered here and there, like a one-night away type of game where they played Detroit last week. I think when you get a situation like this where you get 4 games on the road, it's probably the last opportunity before the playoffs for the players to really come together on the road. It ends up being 8 or 9 days this trip. But this is where the Flyers, and to be quite honest, have played their best hockey this year is on the road. They've thrived on the road. They felt more comfortable on the road for whatever reason. And if probably where they are in the standings is because of the amount of points they've been able to garnish, certainly playing in visiting cities.
Well, you said the Flyers, their best players at this point of the season are going to have to be their best players. And, Bundy, that means not only offensively, but on defense. Their goaltenders had a rough day the last game Saturday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. This team is sticking together, though, but everybody's got to be fully committed defensively.
Well, when you start coming down to the last 20, 21 games, and I always say it ends up being like a wild run down a highway, and that's really what it is because everybody's jockeying for position, everybody's trying to get in. If you look at the standings now, it's so tight. And really the way that you win in the playoffs and the way that you try to position yourself where you feel comfortable is what you're doing in your own zone. And to be honest with you, whether it be the defensemen, the forwards, the goaltending, it's not been good enough of late. That's why their record has slipped a little bit, and that's why they need to get back up. If the forwards are responsible defensively, they got, as we'll talk about, we got a couple new defensemen, and the goalies are all doing their job. It's the back end out. That's how you win hockey games. That's how you get that chemistry built between the players on your team. When you're playing well as a team, you know you're playing well defensively, and I don't think any Philadelphia Flyer forward, defenseman or goalie can say that they've done a good enough job in their own zone lately to win enough hockey games.
Well, and you made the point. Hopefully the Flyers will now spend less time in their zone because they've added a couple of veteran defensemen. Pavel Kabina will make his Flyers debut tonight, and suddenly this is a veteran group, over 3,600 games played in the league among the 6 of them.
Yeah, that's a lot of hockey, obviously. You got some veteran guys. Grossman comes in a few days before Kabina, but Pavel Kabina comes in. He's in from Tampa. The thing I like with him, he's played some time in Toronto, well, actually a significant amount of time in Toronto, so he understands that there is going to be expectations from the fans in Philadelphia. He brings a right shot. He's a big man, another big body. It's going to take up space, and a guy that won a Stanley Cup. So he's been through all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals and succeeded. And I think right now, when you look at what Philadelphia is trying to do, that's going to bolster the defense. It still does not mean that the forwards get a pass or the goaltender gets a pass. All it is extra help right now. They're both, obviously, Kabina's in his 30s, mid-30s. He's still got some years left on him, but he is a guy that is going to immediately take up space on the ice and is going to help out in that defensive zone.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets have won 3 in a row. A win tonight would match their longest win streak of the season. This is a team that suddenly is scoring goals in bunches, but they are on the bubble right now as far as making the playoffs. They're second in their division, only 1 point back of the division leader, the Florida Panthers, yet they're 9th in the Eastern Conference.
Well, if they can somehow beat the Philadelphia Flyers, their attitude, just talking to a couple of people, they will mentally be in the playoffs. They'll be in the playoff situation if it ended tomorrow morning. So that's what they're looking for. They want to get up into the seeding and obviously challenge for that for the Southeast Division title, and that's really what their attitude should be. They are a really, really good team here in Winnipeg. They come out early, and it's almost like a college or a college situation where it's really, really rowdy early in the games, and you have to be ready to play. So the first 10 minutes tonight is going to be critical against this team because of the way that Winnipeg comes out at you. They just dump the puck and they go right at you. And obviously for their attitude tonight, they've got a lot to play for. They've been good, really, really good. And Tim, as you said, Pavlik's been their backstop, or Andre Pavlik, their backstop goalie. But I think up front, offensively, they're getting a ton of goals from an awful lot of guys right now.
Yeah, Blake Wheeler, Brian Little are their hottest two forwards, and Evander Kane and Dustin Byfuglien are both back in the lineup. They missed the last game against Philadelphia. It will be Andre Pavlik getting the start for the Winnipeg Jets. He's had a career-high 22-win season. Game time is at 7 o'clock. It'll be on Comcast Sportsnet, or as always, you can join us on the radio. Tim Saunders with Chris Therien on Sports Radio 94 WIP. Our game day preview brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Visit business.comcast.com.